Nancy, a young girl of about 17 years, was looking outside the car window with a lack of interest. She was finally going to live with her grandmother's family after years of living in the village since her parents' death. Nancy has an innocent and naive face, and she looks so fragile that it seems she will break if she do too much, but beneath the mask of innocence Nancy has a side nobody in the world knows of except one person, or except if she chooses to show it to you. She sees ghosts. That afternoon, while the driver was planning to take her back to her grandma's house, Nancy already has other plans. She told the driver, "Please drop me here, I want to buy some things." The driver said, "No, your grandmother said I should bring you home straight." Nancy replied him, "Don't worry, I already told Grandma I have somewhere to go." Nancy has an innocent and obedient face, so the driver believed him immediately, but he was still reluctant to let Nancy go. "She just came to this city newly, where does she know?" As if she has been reading his thoughts, she told him, "Don't worry, I am an adult, I won't get lost." The driver opened the door to let her out. Before she left she turned to him and said, "Sir, you are a good man." Immediately he left, the innocent and naive look on her face disappeared and was replaced by a serious look. She looked around for a hidden place and found a corner hidden by a small red car. She went there, opened the content of her suitcase and started changing. She first of all removed her wig, replaced by a shorter neat hair, and then her girly dress was modified to a shirt and shorts. The occupant of the red car gasped in shock. In a few minutes a well-behaved girl with waist-length hair suddenly turned into a cool guy with short hair. "Is this the end of the world?" he asked. Unfortunately, while the car window looked like a mirror, the person inside can see everything outside clearly. It was not only her appearance that changed, even her demeanor and personality changed dramatically. The man inside the car was watching her with great interest with his hands on his chin. Nancy brought out a white baseball hat from her bag, put it on and knocked on the car window to thank the occupant. The man's smile stiffened for a moment. Nancy had always known there was someone inside the car, but since the person did not speak up or disturb her, she took it as consent. However, she did not forget to thank him afterwards. It would be impolite not to. The man inside watched her receding figure in amusement. Nancy's destination was very clear. Street's cats followed her around, while she rewarded them with freeze-dried meat she got from her suitcase. She considered it as a rite of passage. Nancy continued walking, not worried about being lost since this was her first time of coming here. Suddenly she heard a sound behind her. She turned to see a black cat blending into the shadow. She called out to it and it came out. She put her hand inside her bag and brought out more meat for the cat. The cat immediately consumed the meat and proceeded with an elegant stroll to the front of Nancy. Nancy raised her eyebrows. The street cat was offering her direction, so she followed it. The cat stopped in front of a bar. It was a unique bar with several neon signs at the entrance. Nancy waved at the cat and it walked away elegantly. She entered the bar and inside was a middle-aged man in a suit, with a bald head and tired eyes. The man looked up and saw a young man with a short hair. He stood up and asked him, "Who are you? Are you Nazaru?" Nancy asked him. When Nancy spoke, the man realized that she is actually a young girl. He answered her, "Yes, I am. Can I help you? You invited my master, Makala, to perform an exorcism for you, but he went on a long journey. I am here to replace him." Nazaru opened his eyes in shock. "A young girl of your age should be in school studying. You are too young to practice witchcraft and exorcism." Even though Nazaru sought the help of the master, Makala, he did not believe in ghosts or magic. Nancy opened her suitcase and brought out a red wooden sword and said, "This is the last instructions my master gave me before he went on his journey, and you have already paid the deposit, so I must do it." Nazaru believed the young girl must have been hypnotized. Please leave, you can keep the deposit, I won't ask you for it. But Nancy cannot ignore the strong demonic aura in the bar. Suddenly the sky darkened, her eyes turned white, the sound of street cats around them intensified. Nazaru noticed it and thought maybe someone disturbed them. Nancy's face turned white and her eyes were focused on the dance floor in the middle of the bar. Suddenly she asked him, "Did someone die here recently?" He was shocked. "How did you know?" he asked. But she did not reply to him. Instead she went to the center of the dance floor where she felt the strong aura of blood and force of a curse. She stabbed the very center of the place where she felt the curse with her wooden sword and a loud scream came out of it. The sky suddenly went dark and Nazaru felt a strange sensation on his chest. He fell to the floor and cried out. The air turned chilled. Seconds later the red wooden sword, busting with flames, flew out of my Nancy's hand and pinned something on the wall. The sound of a scream followed. There was a click sound and the light came on. Nazaru saw that the wooden sword had pinned a puppet doll to the wall. This 1-minute experience changed Nazaru's worldview of over 40 years. The short-haired handsome girl went over to the wall and pulled out the sword. She threw the puppet doll to Nazaru. "Look at the back." Nazaru received it trembling. He turned the back of the evil-looking doll and his eyes widened in shock. His full name and date of birth were written there on the back of the doll. Nazaru felt like he was in a dream. It really turns out that mysterious things exist in this world. "What does this mean?" he asked. "You have been cursed, your hair, your date of birth was stuck into this doll, and it has been stealing your luck and causing your life to mold. So has it been broken now?" he asked. He was beginning to respect the young girl. "2 drunkards died in your bar in the past 1 month, it was because of the curse. The symptoms have been treated, but the course has not been treated. This means that the curse has been broken but the person that cast the curse has not been found. Then what should we do?" Nazaru asked with fear. Nancy walked to him and collected the doll. She flicked her fingers, a blue flame appeared and burned the puppet doll without leaving any residue. Nazaru was amazed. He had never seen anyone produce fire with a flick of a finger. She then told the man, "Complete the deposit of $1,000 and pay another $1,000 if you want to know who cursed you." Fortunately Nazaru could afford $2,000 at the moment. He wants the problem to be resolved even if he has to sell his bar. He brought out his phone and transferred the remaining to her. Having received the payment, Nancy naturally had work to do, so she bid Nazaru goodbye and took a taxi to a completely different direction. Nancy got off the taxi in a bustling business district. Many girls approached her thinking she was a boy, but when they found out she was a girl, they became more enthusiastic and wanted to exchange contacts with her, but she declined them all. Her destination was another bar. This one is busier and lively. She could not drag her suitcase inside the busy bar, so she kept it outside and ordered her red wooden sword to watch over it. "If anything happens to it, I will use you as firewood," it threatened. The bar did not admit minors, but nobody knew she was a minor in disguise. Nancy avoided the busy bar and dance floor and proceeded to the inner corridor where there are private rooms. She walked down the corridor and stopped in front of a room labeled 203. The door was not locked, so she entered it. However, her arrival in the room surprised everyone. They stopped what they were doing and turned to look at her. But Nancy's eyes were focused on the man wearing a red robe and surrounded by 2 beauties. "Is it you?" she asked. But one of the men replied to her. "Are you sure you are not mistaken?" "No, I am not mistaken," she said, "the ones who placed a curse in Elite Road Bar, isn't it you guys?" As soon as she finished speaking, the face of the young man changed. Who are you? The man in the red robe asked. You should know who I am. Immediately the blood curse was broken, they sensed it and immediately gathered together to discuss it. They did not expect that it was a harmless-looking young girl that did it. So it is you. He shrieked in anger. Yes, it's me. Even after hearing her admit it,